Hey everybody, it's Yusef for Dad's Free Time Game Reviews, where I review the games that I play when no one needs me. This time the game is Eternal Sonata. I played for the Xbox 360, but it's also for PS3, and it's also on PlayStation now. Eternal Sonata is a game about the world-renowned Polish pianist and composer Frédéric Francois Chopin. Or it sort of is. It's really a campy-ass JRPG that isn't really special enough to carry itself, so it needs a far-out backstory. So, Chopin is in a coma dying of tuberculosis. While he is in a coma, he is taken to the magical world of Wonderland. Nameless place with cities? Now, there's something special here. These places pretty much are devoid of any musical flavor. So, all the actual musical terms are used as names, and all the instruments are weapons. Seriously, no music. No bands to make her dance. No haters gonna hate. No jerking, no dabbing, no Dougie. It's like Germany. In this place, Germany, Chopin runs into a magical user named Polka who is dying because apparently magic kills you. She tries to convince Chopin that Germany is real, but Chopin can't believe that because apparently if he believes that, he will die in the real world or something like that. Did I mention it's a JRPG? That's pretty much all that happens with Chopin. A few conversations between him and Polka. After the first one, we're introduced to Allegretto and Beat, two Robin Hoods who steal food and give to the orphans because the taxes are too high to buy food. And then we run into Salsa and March, which are twins who protect the forest but leave it once they meet your group. And Viola, who tends to goats but leaves them once she meets your group. All of them are headed to Forte to talk to Count Waltz about the fact that magic powder is so cheap when everything else is so expensive. Messing up the economy here, man. Pretty much the whole time, Chopin is not part of this story. They just kind of stick him in the scene so you don't forget about him and play his music in between chapters with a real story about him complete with stock photos. In a video game. And then at the end of the game, they shoehorn his story in with some blank-ass cutscenes. It was really lame. They could have cut him out completely of the game, and you wouldn't have even felt weird about it. At least they had a few scenes when somebody had the shit slapped out of them. Also, Count Waltz's maniacal laughter, A+.
Well now, I have no real use for any of these others, so I'll just play with you for a little amusement. Nothing can stop me!
The battle system was interesting. You could tell that the makers of the game were trying to keep you involved, which I appreciated. The battles were optional, and you could run into the enemy's back to have a preemptive strike. I used that a lot. A crap ton. Once in the battle screen, you would run to the bad guy and loosen him up with normal strikes and then finish with a special move before your battle time goes out. A unique mechanic is introduced where the type of creature you fight and special moves you use are based on whether you are in the light or in the dark. This mixed it up a bit, but I felt it was unnecessary. The reason being is that the special moves had what looked to be elemental effects, but really didn't damage more. I mean, if you hit a cold monster with a heat special move, it didn't really matter. I know this because after you level up your character enough, you would just learn a special move for the light that they had already learned for the dark side. But they changed the colors to make it look like a new attack. I mean, they just reskinned the attack with different colors. I thought it was a pretty lame way to cheapen an interesting mechanic. Now, even though it was tedious at times, it was better than the normal command and wait system. The only problem is that the boss fights usually ended up with your 3 people surrounding the boss and hitting them the same way. The only strategy involved was that you would want to get good at blocking attacks because it halves the damage, and you want to spread out your people so that they don't all get hit with one single boss attack. Later in the game, you can unlock the counterattack option to use instead of the block. That ends the turn and allows you to strike immediately. The only problem is that the counter prompt is way more rare, and you can block every time if you get the timing right. You also unlock something called a harmony chain, in which you hit the bad guys with 25 consecutive normal strikes, and the game allows you to chain your super moves together. I had a problem working this mechanic, and there was no real tutorial, so I had to spam the super move button like a madman to have the action even recognized. I would have rather had a cool ass special move with a dope animation, like a summons or something, but okay. The aesthetics were pretty nice. I'm not really a graphics guy, but I felt that the sprites melded well with the backgrounds, and the art style was really nice. The hair always waves when they're outside. I mean, the hair took up all the cutscene budget. They came up short on the hand gestures and facial expressions, but that hair though. I mean, when you're talking about Japanese anime hair, you always gotta come correct. I played the Xbox 360 version, and apparently that was the easier version to play. I got it done in around 30 hours and had a level up strategy of fighting every monster in an area once. It was a pretty comfortable grinding curve, and I didn't have to go back to gain more strength at any time. That's what I'm talking about. So, that was Eternal Sonata. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and share. If you would like to see my playthrough or speed paint for the thumbnail art, the links are in the description and the information cards. The eye in the upper right hand corner. Swoop-de-whoop. Free Mac Martin. Peace.